Hello everyone, this is Shruti and today we will learn different types of memory in the computer. So let's begin with a question. Can you imagine the computer without memory? Definitely, your answer will be no only. This is like, can you imagine yourself without brain? No, definitely no. So let's start with the different types of memories available in the computer. So there are majorly two types of memory, primary and the secondary. The example of the primary memory is RAM and ROM, and the example of secondary memory is hard disk drives, solid state drives, USB drives, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, etc. The secondary memory is slower than the primary memory because the primary memory is directly accessible by CPU, so it is faster than the secondary memory. So let's see more about the primary memory. And also the secondary memory is the external memories which is entered externally in the computer. Okay, so let's see the primary memory. The primary memory is directly accessible by the CPU, so it is faster than the secondary memory which we saw in the previous slide. Okay, the example of the primary memory is RAM, which is random access memory, and system ROM, which is read-only memory. Okay, and also the processor cache. So you have definitely the question, what is cache? The cache is the CPU register which is fastest memory among all memories in the computer. Okay, so let's see and understand it by this diagram. See here, the cache memory is directly accessible by this CPU, so it is the fastest memory. Okay, whereas the primary memory is slower than the cache memory and faster than this secondary memory, and the secondary memory is slower among the cache memory and the primary memory because it is not directly accessible by CPU. Okay, let's see more about RAM and ROM by watching the difference between RAM and ROM. So let's see. The full form of RAM is random access memory and the full form of ROM is read-only memory. The RAM is volatile memory which stores the data which is currently accessed by the CPU, and it stores the data temporarily. Means when our power is off, then the data which is stored in this RAM will be automatically disappearing. Okay, whereas the ROM is non-volatile memory. It stores the instructions which is passed during the bootstrapping of the computer. Then you have suddenly raised the question that what is bootstrap? The bootstrap is the first code that is executed by the computer when this starting process. The RAM is high-speed memory than the ROM, and the ROM is slightly slower than the RAM. RAM is costlier than ROM, and ROM is cheaper than the RAM. RAM is directly accessible by the CPU, where the ROM is not directly accessible by the CPU. The data stored in this RAM is retrieved and altered by CPU, where the data which is stored in ROM will not be retrieved and altered, it is only read only. So we have seen the major differences between RAM and ROM. So let's see the more about RAM. There are two types of RAM, DRAM and SRAM. The full form of the DRAM is Dynamic Random Access Memory, and the full form of SRAM is Static Random Access Memory. So let's see the difference between DRAM and SRAM. The capacitors are used to store the data in DRAM, and the transistors are used to store the data in SRAM. So it is faster than the DRAM. Okay, if it is faster than DRAM, then definitely it will be costlier than the DRAM. Generally, the SRAM is used in cache memory, and generally the DRAM is used in the main memory. So in this video we have seen the different types of memory. Thank you for watching this video. Hope this video was helpful to you.